Hello Rage Gamers, and welcome to what will be my first ever YouTube video. I'm going to be playing Kerbal Space Program. This is going to be a beginner's guide stroke let's play. I don't confess to know a great deal about this game. I really don't, but I know the basics. I know them quite well, and I can certainly get us out to the first couple of bodies that are from outside of Kerbal, and just sort of teach what I know, and sort of a bit of a guide for people who may have just picked up the game or been playing it a few hours and become massively frustrated because, well, this game isn't easy, as you will see throughout my gameplay. Yeah, we're going to have some pretty dodgy missions going on, but anyway, we'll get started. Like I said, this is KSP Space Program 1.0. It is the brand new full release of the game. By no means the last update. But it is now well and truly out there, and they've polished up pretty much all of the bugs, and hopefully we won't meet any of them along the way. So we're going to start a new game, and we're going to go career mode. We're going to call this BRG for Benno Rules Gaming, of course, and then we'll do 1.0 to mark that it is KSP 1.0 and no mods. That's something else. There are a fuck ton of mods for this game, and I mean there are just absolutely masses of them. They do all kinds of things, some really in-depth stuff, some really useful stuff. There's sort of called autopilots that you can get that'll help you do things, but we're not going to use any of those. We're going to use complete vanilla KSP and just play it like that, because I feel personally that mods can make you very confused very easily, and I'll confess the main reasons I don't have any mods is I haven't really paid enough attention on how to put them in my folder, although it is obviously a cakewalk. I've modded other games, and they scare me, to be honest with you. The amount of stuff you can do and the things that are just crazy. Right, so anyway, back on topic. Difficulty. What we'll do is we'll put it on to custom, and we'll change it now. I'm going to keep all of the monetary, scientific and reputation gains exactly as they are, the same as the resource abundance. That's minerals on other planets. We will get to that, although it's something I've never done before, so we'll be doing it together. Re-entry heating, this is new to people who play KSP before. It's from the latest update from the official release, which will keep it 100%. I am going to allow reverting flights, and I'm going to allow quick saving. I'm not going to have missing crews respawn, and I'm going to keep that checked because I don't understand why they think you should have to pay in two forms of currency to get stuff, but you'll understand what that means. Starting funds I keep at 25,000, no science, no reputation, nothing like that. Completely stock, and I am going to be using a very special flag, something that was sent to me by another very successful YouTuber, a guy called Tigrex Gaming. He's done a load of KSP videos. I've learned a lot from him, so by all means go out and check out his videos as well. I find them very, very helpful. Other than that, I think we'll get starting. The postcard is a picture of his Kerbal that had my name on Ike, which is somewhere I've never managed to get to, which again we'll get to. So let's go ahead and start, and we'll get onto the first screen. I'll do a quick run through of what everything is and what it does very briefly. Like I say, you'll pick up more detail as these videos go on. This is my first ever video, hopefully the first of many, but won't be done quickly. I work full time, busy person, so we'll just yeah, they are. So here you can see as I hover over these different buildings and bits on the map, they all light up. They all serve a purpose, they all do different things, and we will get into what they are as time goes on. The first thing we're going to do is have a quick look at what these are. So if you see in the bottom left hand corner, as I mouse over this one here, bottom left corner, it says that's mission control, and that's when you can pick up certain missions. It's like quests I suppose, but they are missions. It's a space program, to fulfill certain criteria. Some of them are quite easy, some of them are very difficult. We will be using those in a minute, but that's where you pick up your missions for. This is the space plane hangar, and this is the runway for space planes. This is the vehicle assembly building, known as the VAB, and this is the launch pad. I'm not really done any space planes or any kind of planes really. I've done a couple off of stuff I've seen from other YouTubers. just to get the general idea of it and how they work, but that's something that we will explore and have fun laughing at my abysmal attempts with in upcoming videos. This is the vehicle assembly building. This is where you build your rockets to try and escape the atmosphere of Kerbin. The launch pad, I'm pretty sure people can figure out what that's for. Here we have the astronaut complex, so we'll click on this one. These are all your current astronauts on the right available. These are your veterans. They are in orange jumpsuits. All the others you will get will be in blue, it would seem now. I thought they were white, but there we go, we'll see. And you have to make sure that you have enough money to hire them. Not seen that before, don't know if that's active, it's red, we'll see. You've got Jeb, very famous Kerbanaut, everyone knows him, and the new one, Valentina. These are both what are called badass, I believe. They're just fucking crazy, always got a smile on their face, they're pretty cool. And then you've got your engineer and your scientist, Bill and Bob, and you can hire more as they die, and they will, if you play in hard modes, or, yeah, I think mission crews won't respawn, so they'll die, they will be out of the game, we'll lose those. Here we have research and development. This is key, this is your tech tree. As you can see, it's enormous. You can only go to certain stages, or put things in certain stages when you've got enough science. Obviously you need to earn it, and you'll be able to unlock tiers as you go by upgrading the buildings themselves. So as you see, you start, we've got no science, 25,000, we've got nothing, we can't buy anything, there's nothing we can do, we need science, okay? So tech tree again, you see that, and then we've got here the tracking station. This is where you see your planet, which I'm going to show you quickly because this is just awesome. So here is Kerbin, here is where you try and start your space program. This is obviously Earth, or copy thereof, not to scale, so some of the physics involved in getting off of the planet are, whilst theoretically they're good, they don't really map Earth properly. Here we have the moon, as you can see, in orbit around the Earth, so it's in our sphere of influence. So there's the moon, and then we have Minmus, which is just outside again. Believe it or not, Minmus a lot further away, a lot easier to get to and back on your first mission, but as I said, we'll get into that. So yeah, that's Kerbin, the moon, and Minmus. And as we scroll out, we see all of the other planets. I have never been to any of these planets ever. I've tried and I've failed, but I've never used cheats or anything like that. So I'm with infinite fuel and all the time warp and stuff, you'll be able to do it. And obviously there's the sun that we're all orbiting. Now there isn't anything else, trust me. For now, you won't need it. There is talk of interstellar travel. Or intergalactic travel, I suppose, but again, it's all it's distance, so we'll see what happens with that. So let's get started. Let's go to mission control, pick up some missions, and we'll go from there. So here you can see the available missions in the tab on the left here. So launch our first vessel, pretty sure we're going to be able to do that. Escape the atmosphere, that's the second mission. Yeah, we should be able to do that. I can't see why we wouldn't. Maybe not the first go, but we'll see. Then gather scientific data from Kerbin. In fact, we'll take these two first. And then orbit Kerbin. Now there are various ways to gather scientific data, and we will go through those now. Let's pick up these two missions, launch first vessel, and gather scientific data from Kerbin. So we've selected those two missions. At the moment we can only have two active. As you upgrade the buildings, which I'll show you now quickly, right click on one of them, comes up with the screen, upgrade button, and then below that flashes up in green here what that upgrade will give you. So yeah, let's go ahead and build our first rocket/science experiments. So, as we start, we're in the vehicle assembly building. There's a little guide here to read if you want to read it. I'm not going to. I don't like it when people read stuff to me in computer games and the videos I watch. It drives me mad. Down the left, we have all of the parts in which you can use to make a rocket. Here we have the command pod. It's the first thing you need to start with, and that's where your Kerbanaut or your automatron system will go. Probe system, something that will fly itself. Advantages and disadvantages, we'll get to that. Fuel tanks. In here, we should have fuel tanks, but we don't have any because we don't have any science, so we can't get any. So how do we get to space, I hear you say? Here we go! A solid fuel booster. These are the side of the things you see on big rockets, particularly on the shuttle launches. Not that there's been masses of them, but you know what I mean. We've all seen the videos. These contain their own fuel and their own engine in one. They are a solid fuel booster, and that's what we'll be using to launch our first flight. Command and control, nothing in there. Structural, we have a girder segment. Don't really use those, probably will in upcoming episodes when I go to build satellites, but we'll get there. Utility, we have a parachute, which is always nice in utility, and science for collecting. Oh, there we go. I didn't think you got mystery gig to start with. You do. So let's start by building the command pod. The command pod's in place. Here's the door, some little stairs, nice and simple. What we want to do now is add some science to it, because we can. Now these are goo containers. You pop these on your ship wherever you like. You probably want to do it symmetrically, because what you want to achieve is an aerodynamically sound, or as sound as possible, vehicle. Excuse me. Bit of a cough, never nice. Yeah, but we'll get to that. The aerodynamics and stuff, we'll talk all the way through that as we go as well. But aerodynamically, if it's equalised, it's balanced, the mass won't affect it too badly, and you'll have a stable flight. To place items, you press the button, they'll appear at your mouse, and you left click where you want them to go. In the menus, obviously you can see you can move around. You hold the right mouse button to move around, and that covers all of those, and the left mouse button will place. The mouse wheel will zoom up and down your rocket, and the minus key and the plus key on your keyboard will zoom in and out. Obviously plus is in, minus is out. Not sure why I told you that, pretty obvious. So there we have essentially the command pod with the Kerbals going to go in it. Next we'll take an engine, little solid fuel booster, and just up till the green things meet. You can see it clicks into place, left click, and there it is. Now that would launch, but it wouldn't be very safe, and we wouldn't really be able to keep any of the data. So into utility, we take our parachute and we plop it straight on top, and there we go. That's that good. And then we'll go back to this science unit. We'll get 2 of these. Now when you're placing items, you can see they sort of switch round into place. Down here you've got a couple of controls I'll tell you about quickly. You've got symmetry mode and you've got angle snap. If I turn angle snap off, it's just a circle, and I can literally place it anywhere I like. When you use angle snap, it, as you can imagine, draws a angled shape. I don't know how many you can go around, so I don't know the correct term for it. It's a lot more than a decagon, I can guarantee you that, but it draws a nice angle around it, and you can keep them symmetrical. Now there are shortcuts to increase or decrease the parts you use. Probably should have looked them up before I did the video, because I don't know. All I know is X will increase it, and as you see the little symbol in the bottom left corner, I'm showing you is going through the different ones, and you can fit up to 8 goo canisters, or 8 of anything around a rocket. We'll go with 2. The reason we've done that, I'll show you, look, it's putting them both on there. The reason I've gone with 2 is the symmetry I mentioned earlier, and because I don't want this shooting off, and I've not played with the aerodynamics yet. This is completely fresh for me as well. I've not played 1.0 yet. I am going to right click on this, and as you see you can adjust the amount of solid fuel it has in it. Okay, and you can also adjust its thrust limiter, and we will let this one burn at whatever that is. I can't see because my mouse is over it. 61%. Yeah, that's fine. So we're literally just going to go ahead. We've got all this here. Oh no, I lied, one more thing. We've got this here, it's ready to go. It's going to fulfill our scientific experiments. You can actually do them without anything. The crew can take a crew report and EVA reports, but I'll show you that in a second. Staging! Nearly forgot the staging. So down here is a staging options, and you press this plus to keep adding windows, and you can have several different stages, which again we will cover off as the video goes on and we try and do different things. Not got a massive hard drive as well, so these videos aren't going to be hugely long. But there should be a few of them. I'm just going to drag that engine down into the first stage. See, stage 0, stage 1, numbers are reversed. 0 is the last stage, 1 is the first stage, but it's just, it works as you look at it. That one will work, then that one will work, then that one will work as we go up. So let's just, I'm not going to save it, let's go straight to the launch and see what we can do. Now when you launch your first rocket, there's a few things you should know. First of all, there's a built-in control system, and we have a pilot. If we press the T key, if you look just here, this little thing will come on, SAS, that's basically stability control. That means that the craft itself will control the gimballing of the engine, which means how much the engine moves, although I don't think solid rocket boosters have them, to change the direction, and the pilot will also do the same thing. So if they've got the skill, which they haven't, because this isn't sandbox mode, so because we've got no experience, we don't have anything that the pilot can do really. So what we're going to do, I've turned the SAS on. The ship should be relatively under control, thrust is limited. You press spacebar to go through each stage. So spacebar for this stage, spacebar for this stage. So we give it a quick countdown, get the little flag in the background, so I think it looks cool. Quick countdown, and I'm going to press spacebar and we should launch. So, first flight of BRG KSP, here we go. 3, 2, 1 and launch! And there we go, you can see we have taken off. Not running at the best of graphics. My new graphics card doesn't arrive until, it should have been today. As you can see, we've had a little world first speed record come up. These are little baby achievements that have been built in so many games these days. Lots of achievements going on as we go. The rocket is flying up. We have run out of fuel, and you can just see a little bit of aerodynamic display going on here as well. We're travelling at 310 meters per second. That's very, very fast, as I'm sure you can figure it out. So yeah, there we go. The first stage is complete. It's done. The rocket is spent. We're out of fuel. We've shot up into the air, and I am going to right click on one of these little goo canisters I put on here. Got a bit close there. It says right click, and I'm going to observe mystery goo. That is a experiment, scientific experiment. It'll flash up in a minute and say, there we go, have 7 science for doing a goo canister experiment. We shouldn't get up much higher now. I think just over 63,000 maybe. Oh, that's flying up still. Oh, 80. Right, we're going pretty fast. Yep, cool, fair enough. It is what it is, not a problem. So what we're going to do, we've got the experiment, we're going to keep that data, and then we're going to let this fall back down to the planet Kerbin, and just as our speed here comes down, I'm going to zoom out a bit, we're going to hit the parachute, and we've started falling. I'll explain what this little green thing moving on here is. We're going to press spacebar again, and we are going to release our parachutes. Wow, my frame rate seems to be really quite low. Or is that slow deploying or something? Yeah, no, that does look really bad. I don't know how this is going to look for you guys. I do apologise, it is the first video. I will tweak settings and stuff. Like I said, new graphics card is just on its way. And hopefully the other videos will be better, fingers crossed. So as we're falling back down to the ground now, your parachutes tend to open somewhere in the region of 5,000 meters above the surface of the planet that you're going towards. Are we going to land in the sea or back on the close to the launch pad? That could be dangerous. If we hit it too hard, the launch pad will blow up. You can blow up your space center if you crash into it. Pretty cool, I think. So this is quite boring. We're just watching the rocket go down and me blabber on. So we're going to time warp. The full stop and the comma on your keyboards. Full stop being the more than symbol, and left being the less than symbol. We can press the forward one, and time accelerate. You can see it just up here. It's got 4 times acceleration as we're flying down. Something you may want to be aware of: don't let your parachutes open with full time acceleration on. They can break, so just keep an eye on that as you're falling down. They can break, and then you plummet and you lose your pilot and everything, and it's all gone and your pilot's dead, and killing Jebediah Karen on your first go, whilst you probably will do, to be fair, is kind of sacrilege. So we'll get it to 1,000 meters, and then we're going to slow that right down using the comma key or the less than sign, and this will now just quite happily float. That could cause problems. If that blows up, that's all counted as a launch pad, I believe. Or is it? I'm not sure now. Oh, I didn't show you. My parachute opened. They open quite slowly. As you can see, they get a little bit bigger, and the parachute wobbles rather than the... That's a bit weird, but there we go. We're falling down. Let's get that time acceleration back up now that the parachute's opened. Get back down on the ground, and what we will do is we will do our other mystery goo container, so that we've got that. So there'll be a little bit more science. Again, I always slow it down just before it touches down, because I just don't want to jinx it. We got away with it, fantastic, it didn't blow up. So we'll right click on that one, we'll do the observe mystery go again, and we get 3 science, some fresh science on there. We will right click our capsule, and down here there are several things you can do. I will do a crew report, 1.5 science. Should have done it when I was up in the air, my mistake, we can catch that next time. Science tends to null out quite poorly as you repeat the same experiment. So we're going to do an EVA, which I can't remember what it stands for, which is annoying. We're It basically means external video. We will right click on our Kerbal, we will do an EVA report, we will keep that science, we will go up, we'll board again by pressing B, and we will go up to the very top here. As you can see, this comes up. I didn't talk about the altimeter or anything like that. You know what it is, we'll cover it off anyway. So yeah, we're going to click recover vessel, we'll get our vessel back, we'll get our Kerbal back, and we will receive a little bit of money for completing our experiments, because we launched a vessel, one of the missions we took, and we did some science reports. So we get our funds from that. But from that thing, first thing we got was 22 science earned, plus a little bit more science for recovery of a vessel that survived flight. So we got a nice bit of science there. Actually, there's a little bit more, I'm not sure what that is. The next one is parts. We got all of our parts back at 100% value, so that launch was free. So we got all of that. So we got the funds from the missions, and we've got some science that we will then be able to spend in our tech tree. And our pilot earned his first bit of experience, which is fantastic. We will go through what that does in the next video. I think I'm going to have to cut it here. So the next video I'll bring you in, and we will spend all of our science and have a look at our missions and what we got for it. Okay, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you vaguely enjoyed the first episode. If you have just picked up KSP and haven't got a clue what to do, that will be a really good start. Okay, get into your tech tree and have some fun. Right, yeah, this has been BRG Gaming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.